tribulations, my heart, my balls, my somebody stop, somebody come and get me. Little did I know that the Lord was riding with me. The dark, the light, my heart, the fight, the wrong, the right is gone.
Back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review, the first for me of 2020, and this time we are bringing you Universal Pictures' latest blockbuster, and I'm only calling it a blockbuster because of the budget. Dolittle, starring Robert Downey Jr., Martin Sheen, no one else that really matters. Literally no one else that really matters. I mean, great voice cast, I believe. It's Emma Thompson, Craig Robinson, Remy Malek, Tom Holland. So again, the voice cast is huge. The actual cast is not, and for good reason, because most of it is utterly unnecessary. So let's give a quick synopsis of this $200 million film, which I'm still confused why they spent $200 million on this movie. But 7 years after the death of his wife, the eccentric John Dolittle, famed doctor and veterinarian in Victoria, England, becomes a hermit, hiding himself away behind the high walls of Dolittle Manor with only his animals for company. But when Queen Victoria falls gravely ill, a reluctant Dolittle is forced to set sail on an epic adventure to a mythical island in search of a cure, regaining his wit and courage as he crosses old adversaries and wondrous creatures. That synopsis, I know what you... Well, that synopsis, I know, first and foremost, sounds absolutely nothing like the Dr. Dolittle that, unfortunately, this generation and most people are accustomed to, which is the Eddie Murphy one. This one takes place in the original world of Dr. Dolittle. From the books that came out in, I want to say, the 20s and 30s, to the film that came out in 1967, to things of this nature. This is that Dolittle. So, first and foremost, suggest yourself that you're not going to see modern day Robert Downey Jr. running around as Dr. Dolittle, and for good reason. And the good reason is, I think they didn't want the confusion. You know, you hear a Dr. Dolittle movie being made, and unfortunately, because of the performance that Eddie Murphy pulled off and the box office prowess of that series, Dr. Dolittle has become synonymous with Eddie Murphy. So they decided, let's take it back to the roots. Let's try something different for the moviegoers of this generation to get accustomed to Dr. Dolittle. Unfortunately, I'm going to say they don't pull it off at all. Again, $200 million budget. The scenery looks amazing. Some of the shots, the cinematography, even the soundtrack, even the score, all of that is really good in this film. And I mean soundtrack because I think Ditlo, I forget the singer name who does like the theme of this movie. It's a amazingly beautiful song. But that's where the beautifulness ends. Like the plot is so thrown together. It's amazing that somebody read this and thought we could turn this into a film. It makes no sense at all. Robert Downey Jr. does his best at trying to make this movie watchable, but it never works. Even him as an actor in this film never works, and it gets irritating after a while with him in general, even him talking to the animals, because again, for a movie that costs $200 million to make, the CGI for the animals is really subpar at times. It makes no sense. I am so confused with Universal and Robert Downey Jr., because him and his wife actually produced this film also. I'm confused on what they were focusing on when they made this film. I think it's a story that could be told there. It's an adventure that could have been had, and instead they went like the big route. Let's show you flashy sceneries. Let's show you these animals talking. Let's show you bigger animals talking. It's like a lot of the razzle-dazzle things and not necessarily the plot points that you need, even for a kids movie. Because again, let me pinpoint and say that this is a kids movie. But even for a kids movie, you need to focus on things that, one, can keep adults' attention, and two, keep children's attention. When I went to the screening for this Saturday, the kids there were so-so with it. Like, they weren't paying much attention to it. When the animals would talk, if the animals made a funny joke, they would laugh. But some of the jokes are dated, like it's a Godfather joke in this movie. Makes no sense. But at times the kids were like, wow, amazing. Other times they were just like, okay, this is boring. And I think that's going to be the fatal flaw for this film. Because this is a movie that Universal, in all honesty, needed to make lots of money to recoup its budget. And I don't see that happening. And I don't know if it's a testament to the lack of star power Robert Downey Jr. has outside the MCU, or it's just that this is a bad movie. I'm going to chalk it up that this is just a bad movie. If you're looking for something to watch with your kids and it's a Saturday morning and let's say right after the good cartoons go off air, throw on Dolittle. That's when you throw on Dolittle. Like, it reminded me of my childhood in that way. When the good cartoons would go off around, 12, 1 o'clock, and then you're just sitting there and then magically a station would just pop on a random kid's movie. And it wouldn't be good, and you would sit through it because you had nothing else to watch. That's what Dolittle is. A sit through because you have nothing else to watch type of movie. I don't believe anyone will find enjoyment outside of the scenery in this film, but you never know. I mean, some of the kid actors are cute, but annoying. So much so that I don't believe I should mention them because it's not their fault. I think Harry Collette, who was like his role, he's the kid actor in this movie, his role is so shoehorned in this plot, it makes no sense. And you're sitting there like, well, you could have built upon this a little bit more because they gave his character a little build up at the beginning that made you think he was going to be this big character, and then he just whimpers in the background. I don't know if it's a situation where after a while they realize how bad the movie was going to be and then they just start cutting things, because this is a very short movie, about maybe an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes with credits. It is not a long movie, and I believe they cut a lot of stuff out to try to make it more watchable, but in turn it made it worse. So Dr. Dolittle, I'm going to say out of 10, maybe a 3. And that's being kind to give it a 3 because the scenery is amazing. The scenery alone gets a 3. Everything else gets a 0. Acting, writing, directing, all of that, 0. So, again, if you are just looking for something to possibly distract your kids for an hour, hour and a half, or if you're looking for something for yourself that you're just like, nice, beautiful background noise, check out Dolittle. Other than that, avoid it at all costs. This has been your boy Lou, representing JVS, with our another movie review. This time again, Dr. Dolittle. I think it releases January 17th if you want to check it out. Peace, people.